Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Rain. It has come to our attention that it has been a really long time since we sat down with y'all and did a nice, solid ballet commentary.
The last commentary we did was La Femme Gardée, like the ribbon pas de deux, and that was in late August.
So what better way to jump right back into our beloved ballet commentary series than to share with y'all everyone's favorite man-killing ghost queen and her whole host of loyal subjects.
That's right, everybody. Today we're going to be taking you through the dance of Myrtha and the Willis from Act 2 of Giselle.
No doubt one of the most incredible, chilling white acts in the ballet rep.
It's terrifying but beautiful, and scary but ethereal at the same time, and we're absolutely living for it.
So we are so excited to share it with you guys and to talk about what makes it so special and why audiences and dancers alike have been captivated by our iconic vengeful ghost girls for so long.
If you're ready for the video, then tap the like button and let's get going. So for context, I guess we should first start off by saying we actually have a lot more information on Giselle in our full ballet analysis on that ballet, linked above and below. You can check it out after this one. We really go into a lot more detail on like the historical aspects of the ballet Giselle and the creation of it and all of that, which is really cool. So we highly recommend you watch.
But today we are going to summarize it briefly in accordance with what is relevant to the video today. So Giselle, obviously choreographed by Perrault and Corelli, to music by Adolphe Adam. And I think what's cool about this scene specifically is that this was sort of the base, the central main concept that the entire ballet Giselle was built on.
I feel like writers and directors and some creatives would be able to sort of relate to this, but you know, you have one concept that really inspires you, and then you take that and you build the entire story or the entire piece around it.
Yeah.
And so everyone kind of sees it as like a whole thing, but really it was about
with,
supporting this one piece of information. So that's what this scene is all about. That was really like the main inspiration for the entire ballet.
The wheelies in this scene are actually not exclusively just a part of the ballet, but they're actually a very real part of Slavic folklore and mythology, which I think is really cool.
Very interesting.
The wheelies, as we see them in Giselle, are inspired by a passage about them in the novel De la Manière, which is one of the main inspirations for the ballet Giselle, and it describes the wheelies as the ghosts of young women who have died after being betrayed by their lovers before their wedding day. So they're very hurt and vengeful, but very ethereal spirits.
Yes.
In a way.
Then enter Gautier, which is the man who kind of conceptualized the whole ballet for Giselle and wrote the libretto or the plot for it. And when he read this passage in De la Manière about the wheelies, he was very inspired and intrigued by this concept of these beautiful and ethereal beings that are also so bloodthirsty and vengeful at the same time.
Right.
And so of course he had to write a ballet about it.
And so pretty much the entire ballet of Giselle, you can see that it's all built around this particular scene.
Yeah.
This vibe, the aesthetic, that is the concept.
And I think that's really why this part of the ballet really shines as brightly as it does, because, you know, it is the centerpiece. It's meant to be, you know, the magnum opus of the entire ballet.
Yeah.
And so I feel like musically, choreographically, it is top notch in terms of production.
Yeah, even just like the sets, the mood, the vibe, you've entered something different, you know?
Yeah.
So now that we're all up to speed and we are super hyped to jump right into this incredible piece of rep, let's go.
Okay, you guys, here we go. I've missed doing these commentaries.
I know.
Like, it feels so nostalgic almost.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a while since we've done one of these. But anyway, we are here. We have the laptop and we're ready to get so deep into this. So the production we're going to be showing you today is from the Polish National Ballet, and they have a fabulous production of Giselle. We absolutely love it. And Myrtha is performed by Natalia Pursuit, who does an absolutely fantastic job of portraying that beautiful, delicate, but also very powerful and very vengeful creature of Myrtha.
And of course, the beautiful corps de ballet of the Polish National Ballet. Fantastic job.
They don't disappoint.
They really don't disappoint.
So we have Myrtha to start off. She just finished her solo. And Myrtha, in case we did not clarify, she is the queen of the wheelies, and she's kind of like, you know, their leader.
And here she is summoning her
sisterhood,
her host of subjects, her host
Yes.
of loyal subjects.
Yeah.
And so what the wheelies do, like their mission, their like nightly ritual, I guess, is they rise out of their graves every night and they dance among the forests under the moon and all that. And obviously because they all are, you know, ghost who have died of heartbreak at the hands of men. They are very, very vengeful.
Towards men.
Yeah, specifically towards men. So any unfortunate man that crosses their path, they will seize him and force him to dance until he dies. Classic form of disposing of someone in the ballet world. Anyways.
So Mirta obviously has just, arisen. She had her solo, and now she's going to call upon all of her subjects in the Ghost Girl Sisterhood gang.
The Ghost Girl gang.
I just got chills, you guys.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
The way it's like shadowy and they're like behind the scrim, and the way they stand up like that, it's literally like you see them rising out of their graves.
This is a very meaningful sort of posture for them. You'll see this sort of theme throughout the whole scene and throughout the whole second act of Giselle. They all have the veils on and they're all wearing white, and it's supposed to represent the veils and wedding dresses that they never got to wear during their lifetime.
Yes.
And then the same thing with like holding their arms, and you can't really see me, I'm behind the computer, like this. It was meant to signify like the children they never got to hold during their lifetime.
It's like everything here is like a reminder of the promise that was broken.
And I think it's also just reminding each other, and also to any man who sees them, of why they are doing what they're doing and why they hate men so much. It's very meaningful. There's something so powerful of walking in unison and just quiet music.
Yeah, and all the way the dresses sway a little bit as they step. It's crazy.
It almost makes you feel like you're holding your breath the whole time. And that just gesture means we're going to dance now.
She's stunning. For Mirta, it's so important to keep that like very cold, calculated like composure, I guess.
Yeah. Because they are ghosts, obviously like they have motives and things, but they're fairly emotionless at this point. And so it's important to show that, I guess. Like they obviously are angry, but they're kind of locked in a certain state.
That's what it seems like. They are no longer a human who has hurt or who has pain. They're just the embodiment of pain and anger and revenge.
Yeah. And then here are the two Willis that are entering, and they're kind of like, her personal attendants. And here's the second one. Here we go.
I think this step is incredible, which is difficult to do in unison.
It is.
Because, of the amount of control that it requires.
I think also just being ghosts, there's no room for stumbles anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything has to be super fluid, super smooth, which is more challenging than you might think.
I love that when they do the arabesque with each other,
the dresses kind of fan out.
Yeah, and it makes a perfect semicircle.
Semicircle.
Which means that you have to gauge the exact distance, angle of the leg, everything has to lock into that perfect shape.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
This passage coming up is so simple, but somehow it's one of the most captivating moments. I think a lot of it is like bowing to each other and like kind of honoring, what the other has gone through.
Yeah.
And also it kind of looks like, rising out of their grave sort of thing. It has that sort of effect when you watch it. Everything's so symbolic in this piece.
It's very symbolic.
Yeah, even this first step when they're all holding hands, it's like that sisterhood. It's just that companionship, that unity that they have together, which is, unbreakable.
And if you notice, all of their demeanor, which is fascinating about the choreography, is that it's a very specific head posture.
Yeah.
Right? In a lot of ballet, you want, the sun on your face.
Yeah, very
kind
pulled
of
up.
thing. Like, everything's very lifted. Whereas for them, everything is very
It's lowered.
lowered.
A lot.
And I guess it's also because it's an older ballet.
It's a much softer
Yeah.
appearance rather than being like super pulled up and like very open.
Yeah.
This is a lot more soft, a little bit more closed off.
And I think it gives that impression, like that deadness, I
Yeah.
guess. Because this is alert and alive. You
Yeah,
see,
very
like,
present.
in body language.
Yeah.
When your head is up, you're watching, you're alert, you're present, you're there. When you're down, it's almost like an eternal sleep.
It's just like a lifeless ghost just floating. It has that sort of appearance.
Yeah, and they rarely make eye contact either, which takes away from the humanness.
Yes.
You want it to have that as much distance as possible.
Yes.
It's really cool how small details like that can really play into the overall vibe.
Yeah, it really does. It's all in the subtleties.
Oh, I love how they do this step and they just kind of softly sway.
Yeah.
The core has to be super, super careful to make sure that they're all rolling through their shoes as smoothly as possible to maintain that really weightless, ethereal illusion. Here comes one of the two of Myrta's attendants.
Yes.
Beautiful variations in this scene, by the way. See, even when her head is up, eye gaze is
Eyes
down.
are down.
Wow, she does this in an incredible way.
I think the other thing that's really captivating about, the quality of the dancing is just how subdued all the port de bras is.
Like, you can see the energy reaching. It reaches, but it never gets there.
It never gets
Which
there.
is, again, very symbolic.
Very symbolic. It can't look energetic. It can't look vivacious and alive. It has to look very dead.
It's a completely different vibe, but it's
Yeah.
so cool.
It's so cool.
And she does a fantastic job in
Yeah.
this.
I mean, just look. Her upper body is so fluid and supple, and it's never affected by the legs and the feet.
Yeah.
It really just looks like they're just floating on the breeze or something.
Yeah. Even landing from the jumps, you barely notice that landing because she catches herself so well and maintains like the floatiness of the port de bras.
Beautifully done. And now for Myrta's second attendant.
For that sort of ethereal quality like this one, it's always a matter of balancing being musical but also like breathing through
Yeah.
each picture. Like, you don't want too much of a snap factor for the wheelies. Instead, you want the dancing to mimic like the phrasing and the lilt of the music. Beautiful. I love this part of the music.
I know, me too.
And this passage is so fun to do as well. Beautiful. And again, like, on a big end note like that, any other ballet, you do a big bump. Like,
Yeah.
and you would match that.
yeah.
But for her, it's,
You float.
you float into it. And you never see the coming down. She
Nope.
just does the piqué, and then she just keeps running off.
It never stops. And here the corps de ballet comes in.
Beautiful lines, girls.
Yeah. The line assembles. Yes. That is.
One of my favorite choreographic elements. As they're boring, they travel and they meet the other girls, and then they meet the other girls again. Corps de ballet
Yes.
never fails to amaze me.
Never fails with me. Like there's so much honor in being a part of, a body, being in that group, because the things that y'all can create with numbers is inordinately powerful.
Yeah,
It's
like-
actually extraordinary. Gorgeous. Here we go.
Yes, Myrta, here she comes. Honestly, one of my dream roles. Oh!
We saw the Vengeful Ghost Queen. She has arrived. Vengeful Ghost Queen has entered the chat. Let's go.
Whoa. And I think that's what's incredible, like, for something like Mirta, there's so much room for interpretation.
Yeah, there is a lot of
with
room.
her, because like obviously she's a ghost. You know, you could take it like completely dead,
numb,
and like cold, or you can take it like in the way she does, which is a bit more of like a evil sort of assertive.
Yeah, there's some that play Mirta up as a little bit more sad. And then there's some that play her up as a lot more, you know, angry.
And I think it's so special to see like everybody's different interpretations of it. I think Mirta is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
To like not compare,
but
to like
kind of
to appreciate,
observe
among all these different dancers.
It's really interesting, but I love her interpretation. I feel like she balances it perfectly. I love how her eyes don't move from her target.
Yes. It's like
it's something that's so subtle that we talk about this a lot on the channel, but where your eyes are makes a world of a difference, and it can change your performance drastically.
Watch that lock, and then she just changes
finds it. It's incredible. I love it. Eden's favorite passage.
Fire Assembly!
This is very tiring for Mirta.
I think it's so much fun. And again, the end pose.
Flow through it.
And keep running.
And run. This is a long piece, by the way. I hope you have your some good tea. We don't have tea.
I thought something was missing.
Where's our tea?
Wait, where'd it go?
Where is it?
Okay, I got him. They were here. They were here
off camera. Thank you.
I
knew something looked empty in here. Anyways, let's keep going. We have our two back here again.
Beautiful tablier. You have to go all the way down. Sweep the floor.
Yeah.
Again with our soloist's gorgeous fluid upper body.
So good.
Extra kudos to them for the double rods.
Those are not easy at all, but they did a really good job with this.
Yeah, they make it look so effortless.
This is the most iconic part of the piece coming up.
Yes, joined by line 1. And assemble.
I think it's just this note on the bottom.
Yeah.
It just has that anticipation underneath the music.
Yeah, the intensity.
Yeah.
It's that consistent pulse.
Yeah.
And this is just so hard to do, honestly.
It's so hard.
Like,
to do
it's deceptively hard because you're not supposed to hop.
No.
You're supposed to
scoot.
chug.
Yeah,
like
you scoot on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah.
And so that's the goal. You never want to have too much of this movement going across. You want it as smooth as possible.
And to defy gravity at that level, you know, it's one thing to just hold your leg at 90 degrees in an arabesque, but to have, you know, that extra little bit of movement and gravity trying to pull that leg down, you know, it takes effort.
And to keep it consistently at the same height as all the girls. So you see the arms and legs are all in parallel with each other.
And here we go, the crossings.
Beautiful, and all the arms and legs should perfectly intersect. Stunning. I think what makes this particular chug section so impactful, to me anyways, is that contrast between how simple the steps are with also how intense the music is.
Yeah, because the music keeps building and building and building and building, but the choreography stays relatively monotone, if you could.
Yeah, it builds that tension and that energy, and all of a sudden you realize their power that's growing. It almost symbolizes that.
It's a perspective shift that you give the audience, and it's just like you zoom out all of a sudden, you see the magnitude of the whole scene scene. Yeah, it's breathtaking in a way that, you know, one soloist doing 32 fuetes could never have.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
32 fuetes, we love it.
We don't discredit
We don't discredit it at all, but there's a certain gravity and a certain weight to a corps de ballet and a group of people doing something that might be very simple choreographically, but the visual impact that it has is just so powerful.
Yes. Enter Mirta. Yes. I love the way she does it.
She makes it look so effortless.
Yeah.
She just floats.
Her soda shots are really, really pretty. My favorite passage. Let's
Yes! Let's go!
go. Oh.
The sonabasts in a circle.
Music. Okay, and this is like almost the reverse of what we just saw, but equally impactful.
Equally impactful.
We have, you know, a simple passage, but with lots of people. Music is like quietly building, right? And then here we have this big climatic music. It's just a single dancer on the stage.
just tearing
It up, you know?
Yeah.
So we have these two incredibly impactful methods of portraying that power. Choreography and music just
They're perfect together. They were meant to be. I love how the music and the movement pattern matches perfectly in this passage. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. You have the up movement with the arm. You also have the percussion with the landing.
yes.
It's the whole thing. I think this really encapsulates that quote, you know, ballet should, and dance is music made visible.
Yeah.
And that is exactly it.
Even with the cymbal when the arabesque goes,
Yeah.
because a cymbal has like a resonance, like it rings and it continues a little bit. And it has that like, it's like the arabesque resonates as the cymbals and that big orchestra hit resonates. And then
for sure.
da-da-da-da-ba, and on that hard hit, you land. You know, it's just... It's good, you guys. It's
Speechless.
It's so good.
No words. We'll watch the whole thing again.
Yes.
Don't worry. The arm goes and the foot goes boom. And I think the skirt adds to that effect, the resonance that we were talking about visually. Here we go.
Oh!
So good.
Definitely a dream role.
That is incredible. To be in this piece and experience that sort of synergy is incredible. I think a lot that goes into this piece that makes it so special is all sorts of small details. That dead, lifeless quality. The fact that you have to wear a little bit softer shoes, like deader shoes as well, so that they don't make that loud noise when you're running and landing. It contributes to that ethereal being character.
It's just such an incredible piece, you guys.
That's it. There's no more words to say. We're just gonna, that's it. It's done.
Cut to the outro.
Just cut to the outro.
Alright, you guys, so that was the entrance and the dance of the Willis from Act 2 of Giselle.
I'm still speechless.
I really do think that, you know, there's a reason why this piece has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why that it's such an iconic scene. Because there are so many impactful and incredible moments, and I feel like all of the elements really all supported each other.
There's a lot of pieces that, you know, are really beautiful. And then there's some pieces that really just play up the storyline and the plot. But this one does both. The choreography supports the story, and the story supports the choreography, and the
Everything.
music blends them all together into one.
So find yourself a Giselle. That's all we're
Yes.
saying. Bottom line of this video, find yourself a Giselle.
Watch
and watch it.
and
Watch
enjoy it and just be awestruck and inspired by it. If you like the video, then remember to like the video and share this video with all of your girlfriends, your mom, your sister, all the women in your life. And if you've been enjoying our content for a while and you'd like to support us, the channel, and everything we do, then feel free to check out our Patreon channel. The link is in the description box for you to check out. And to all of our patrons, thank you so much for your support. You really mean the world to us. So again, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts.
Anyways, I think that is all from us for now. This is Ballet Rain signing off. Until the next video.
Bye.
It's not Christmas yet.
No, if I wasn't a dancer, I would have learned to sing, but
I wish
as it is,
As it happens.
there is an inherent inability to sing when you become a dancer. Inherent.
You have to sign on the line.
Yeah.
I forfeit. I'm joking.
Their voice goes into the seashell. No longer
In
yours.
exchange for mad dance skills. Are the ghosts of young women who've died of heartbreak, who have died of grief after being betrayed by the lovers before
Yes.
their wedding.
That's a very strict criteria for becoming a wheelie, but apparently it's more common than you think.